We're going to do some breakout rooms, and we'll put the questions in the chat so that you have them there. I have to stop sharing to do the breakout room. So I'm going to do that. And Maureen, maybe you can copy and paste and put those in the chat.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So here we go. Breakout rooms. And then also it's not recording apparently.
I just
it is
pressed
recording.
record.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay. So
this is our first workshop on Zoom. It's very exciting. We're learning.
Here we go. And you will have about 5 minutes in the breakout room.
Hi there.
Hello there. Now I'm unmuted.
Hi, I'm Maureen. I already introduced myself. I didn't know I was going into a breakout room, but you can tell me who you are.
And the breakout rooms are pairs. It's the two of us.
Yes.
Okay. I'm Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
I'm a TSA. I'm a high school coach for peer resources. So
oh, nice.
At a bunch of different schools.
Which school? Or many
all
schools?
the peer resources high schools.
Okay.
Val, Gal, Jean, Jordan, Lincoln, Lowell, Mission.
So you know Sarah, SB,
yeah.
then?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely. Good. Mm-hmm. What brought you to this workshop today?
What brought me to the workshop today was, one, I'm rereading Bettina Love's book.
Nice.
Right now, because rereading is kind of the only way I first time learned something. And I've also been doing a lot of the Abolitionist Teaching Network stuff over the summer.
Nice.
And that's been some of the most joyful and productive and centering kind of things when I think about the school year. So I was like, all right, this might have some of that flavor. So I'm in.
Good. Well, thank you for coming. Yeah, we felt like it was really rejuvenating and validating for a lot of the work that we did, but also raised a lot of questions. And it felt like this is really important stuff to chew on and kind of dialogue about.
Sure.
So, yeah, well, thank you for coming. We only have a few minutes together, so I think that
have any new habits from the time?
Oh, that's right. We're supposed to say a pair. Well, I learned how to make sourdough bread, which I never thought I would learn how to do. That's something. And I'm learning the ukulele. I'm not very good, but it has been nice to have.
That's a fun one to learn.
What's that?
That uke is a really fun one to learn.
Yeah, it feels approachable.
Yeah.
What about you?
I guess texting voters is one of my new habits over the summer.
Out of necessity.
And it's definitely become a habit. And over the summer I took a writing and Zen class. So it's like writing, but for no purpose, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, nice.
So it's kind of become like writing meditation, which it turns out was the tool I didn't know I needed.
Yeah,
it was really
writing
helpful.
can be really cathartic. Both Chalida and I work for Bay Area Writing Project, and I feel like it's so easy to.
But yeah, there are a few of us who are left over.
You
Callie,
two are supposed to be in the same breakout room
Callie,
together.
Leah, Laura, me, we're all orphans or something.
Okay. I think it's been 3 minutes.
Maybe you could just tell her to come back into the main room and we can just say hello or something.
Callie, is that you up there? Am I saying your name right?
Callie.
Yes. You two are actually supposed to be in the same breakout room. I'm not really sure what happened.
Oh, well, good. Maybe we can talk and can you talk to Maureen separately or something? I don't know. Or we can all just share.
I'm going to have you two talk. Maureen, I'm going to message you, and if you could just write me back for a second.
All right. Callie, if you can unmute yourself, we're going to just talk while they do their own thing on this. Okay? No, she's, oh, whoa. Now I'm in a room with, I don't know. Kelly, can you not hear me? He's not talking. No. Callie, can you unmute yourself? Not working. Hello.
I'm going to bring everyone back. So hopefully hopefully we'll get this working for the next, the next time.
There you go.
Okay.
Thanks for being flexible, Sarah. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Sorry about that,
I can't
Callie.
rename. I don't know why this won't let me rename.
So we tried to figure that out, and apparently it's a district setting to not allow students to change their name, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
We should be able to
weird.
I feel like we should be able to change that.
Jeez, of all the things, yeah.
I know.
Anyway, whatever. Hello.
Those of you who are joining us, welcome.
That's fine.
There is, I'll put the presentation in the chat, and we just did a quick breakout session to just check in with each other about why we're here.
And people are still in breakout rooms. I think they have like a minute to come back, and so they're slowly making their way right now. Okay,
fine. That's fine. So the presentation is in the chat. It's yellowkey.com/trip. And we are recording this session for those who were not able to make it. This is a full up workshop. And we're so glad you're all here.
Everyone is back right now. So I'm going to move us on to the next slide. And these are our agreements or norms that we have adapted from our T4SJ meeting norms. Maureen, we're going to have people popcorn here?
Yeah. Is there someone who would like to read? We'll just have folks unmute themselves, and you can go ahead and read one at a time.
Stay present while honoring self-care needs.
Thank you, Trish.
Own our intentions and impact
and call in
others to do the same.
Oh, I like that choral reading.
Hold space for multiple modalities of participation, individual, small group, music, art, writing, and for emotional intelligence awareness of feelings in our work.
Commit to struggle to humanize our learning spaces.
Name tensions, seek support through restorative practices, adapted T4SJ meeting norms.
And for the nature of this, thank you all. For the nature of this workshop, we probably won't be able to follow up with the tensions that may be named, but I think it's really important as an organization and as a group of educators to know that these are things that we want to keep talking about, and if you need someone else to help support you to do this work, to seek that out. We decided to focus on this one in particular, commit to struggle to humanize our learning spaces, because we felt like it was most, all of them align with Dr. Love's work, but this particular agreement is really about what Dr. Simmons was talking about this morning, and what we felt we could start with in this short time we have together today. You want to add anything, Chalida?
No, because I think the next slide is going to talk about that. So yeah, just we're teaching in ways we haven't before, and how could you humanize a digital learning space for your students? So maybe if you went to the keynote this morning or just thinking about it, what are some ideas that come up for you? I'm going to do the breakout rooms again. We had a little bit of technical difficulty the last time, but I'm hoping this time will go okay. But the question again is, how could you humanize a digital learning space for your students? And here we go. Do you want to say anything, Maureen, before
just before we do that, I know we were going to mention just that the chat, because this is new for us in this sort of tech arena, to really let us know if you're having trouble or if you can't get in, and just to be mindful of the voices that are heard in the chat. We don't want it to be a distraction from the work that we're doing together.
Yeah. I mean, I kin it to like, if you have a classroom and there's a side conversation, sometimes it's hard to pay attention to both if you're participating. Okay, so I'm gonna move us into those breakout rooms. I'm gonna stop sharing.
We're going to have to bring you to
So Chalida, you're inviting me to a breakout room.
So I just realized that, and I am trying to put the person who's with you in a new breakout room.
Or we can admit this guy and put him in it if you want, Dennis. Shall we?
Should we put Dennis?
Another
okay,
person?
all right, I'm putting Dennis in.
Okay.
Okay. Hopefully Sharon can tell Dennis that we're in breakout rooms.
Okay.
We also have some people who are here, but they're not like joining the breakout rooms. So, or maybe they're not really here.
I don't know.
So I'm gonna move.
Have you been invited to a breakout room, Laura? You're muted. And Stephanie?
Yeah, I went to breakout room 17, but there was no one there.
Okay.
I can go back to it if there's someone in there.
Same with breakout room 9, and it wouldn't let me join it. It was just like a screen saying, it was like a default screen or something. Carissa, we're in the same one.
Oh no. Yeah. Chalida, what do you think we should do?
I am trying to figure out if I can, so Joanna, is Joanna here? Okay.
Yes.
No. In this room?
The screen is here, yes. I don't know if they're at their screen, but yes.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm just trying to move people who are in solo in these breakout rooms, but Stephanie, no, okay.
There's group 13. Did you add someone to group 13?
No one's in group 13.
Oh, well, do you want to put 2 folks in group 13 from here then?
Yeah, I actually think we should bring people back though. So hold on.
Okay. Well, sorry, those of you who are still here, do you want to just talk to each other since it's kind of a small group, and Chalida and I will be quiet? Okay.
Okay. So is it just Laura, Leah, and Carissa? Or?
Yeah, so we're talking about how we can humanize the space for our students. Okay, well, do you guys want to share something that was working for how you were humanizing your space with your students?
Hi, Tedra.
Hi, Sharon. Hi, everybody. Nobody showed up in my breakout, so I came back.
I'm sorry that happened. We're trying to figure out what's going on, but if you want to just talk with each other.
Oh, yeah, it's no problem. I understand how that can happen.
Sure. So, I mean, I guess I can go. So humanizing the space for my students, I've been thinking about how I can make sure that families feel really welcome. I'm working with first graders, so I've tried to be really explicit with families that it's up to them if they are in the room and they're watching what's going on, that they're like welcome to be on the screen or off the screen, but just like reinforcing to families that they are welcome, like as welcome as they want to be. I know some people would rather use the time as like, you're with your teacher and now I can do what I need to get done. And some families are really curious about what we're doing. And so I've tried to be really clear, like you are as welcome as you want to be here. And I feel like just letting families of first graders know that they're welcome makes it a little bit more humanizing for the students. Does anyone else want to share?
Yeah, and just heads up for this group, I'm sorry, people are going to come back, and so they will hear you, and just letting you know. They are coming back right now.
Thank you for that example, Laura.
All right, everyone. We're having some tech difficulties with the breakout rooms, and I'm sorry if that wasn't working for you, or if you didn't get assigned to someone, or someone wasn't in the room. I'm going to try to work it out for the next one, so maybe there's bigger groups, and at least there will be some people there. And I appreciate the patience of everyone right now. But just so we stay on time, I'm going to move us along to the next slide. And so we're going to do something. So we're going to explore the idea of abolitionist teaching today, and we're going to start with thinking about what you know, maybe what you've heard about, what you've read this summer, podcasts you've listened to, but what comes to mind when you think about the word abolitionist teaching. And in the chat, I'm going to put a link, and I want you to go to the link. It's a menti.com link, and where is this? I'm going to put it right here. And this will create a word cloud for us to help gauge where everyone is at. So if everyone, you could go to the link menti.com, and there's a backslash, this whole thing. You can put the words that come to mind there.
You can also use the QR code with your phone if you don't want to go to another window. I think you can hold the phone up to the screen to get there.
Maureen, were you able to go to that link?
Yeah. Let me try. I think so.
Oh, look, the words are coming up.
Can you make it bigger so we can see? Okay, Roberta, I'm sorry that's happening. You can go another time too if you like to add your words later, that's fine.
Oh.
So if you haven't used this tool, or you can type your answers in the chat. Great idea. Thank you, Amber. I love this collaboration. The larger the words, that means more people have used the same words in their descriptions.
I feel like a lot of people have been reading the text. I see a lot of words.
Can we have folks just popcorn out and read a word just for a minute or so, just so we can hear some different voices? Thanks.
Anti-racist.
Liberation.
Dismantle. Disrupt.
Freedom.
Unlearning. Humanity.
Student-centered.
Anti-capitalist.
Mm-hmm.
Change.
Thank you so much. So we'll keep this available for you to be able to access and continue to add as we learn and unlearn.
Maureen, I'm trying to get back to the presentation now, but I presented in this, so I'm figuring it out.
You can share your screen.
Okay.
You did it.
I'm going to go back here.
So I was muted, but I just said thank you everyone for reading those words, and we'll keep that available for you to keep adding to as we move on.
Okay.
All right. So this is Dr. Bettina Love's a quote from her book. Chalida and I both have t-shirts that have this quote from Teachers for Social Justice. I heard there's a pop-up sale through Abolition Teaching Network if you're interested in getting a shirt in December, I think. Can we have another voice who maybe hasn't spoken up yet to read this definition, please, of abolitionist teaching?
The practice of working in solidarity with communities of color while drawing on the imagination, the creativity, the refusal, re-remembering, visionary thinking, healing, rebellious spirit, boldness, determination, and subversiveness of abolitionists to eradicate injustice in and outside of schools.
Thank you.
Abolitionist teaching is a noun.
Thank you, Sandy. So who better to explain what her definition is of abolitionist teaching than Dr. Bettina Love? So Chalida's going to introduce her and share a short clip of her talking about it.
Yes. Okay, so Bettina Love is a professor of educational theory and practice at the University of Georgia, and her research focuses on how teachers and schools working with parents and communities can build communal, civically engaged schools rooted in intersectional social justice for the goal of equitable classrooms. I don't know if you have this book or not, but I've been reading and rereading it a lot this summer. And this was, there've been several webinars where she has been presenting, and this is one of them. And so we have a short clip so you can hear her voice, and it'll be about 3 to 4 minutes. Oh no.
And make sure the captions are on the YouTube channel, Chalida.
Oh, right.
Thanks.
Thank you all so much for having me. This is an absolute honor to be here. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Rima. And to the other panelists, I'm just in awe of what you all were able to put together in such short time and just the response that it got. So the first thing that I want to say when we think about abolitionist teaching is power to the people. That's first and foremost, power to the people. Because when we talk about abolitionist teaching and all the context that you offered, from the idea of librarians to teachers to administrators, parents, there's one thing we have to be very clear of. When we say abolitionist teaching, we're not talking about reimagining. We're not talking about reforming. We are talking about the idea that we are going to abolish systems that are oppressive and harmful to Black and brown people. We're going to abolish systems that are anti-Black. And so that means that we're not going to sit here and say, we're going to try and put a Band-Aid on this thing. We're going to try and figure this thing out. So when we talk about abolitionist teaching, what we need folks to do is move in these levels. There's levels to this stuff. So what has to happen is you go from being someone who's racist to acknowledging that you're racist, to someone that says, well, I'm not racist, then someone that says that, well, I'm doing anti-racist work, and then you get to this point where you're an abolitionist, which means that you are willing to dismantle oppressive systems and create alternative spaces. Because what we know is that this social contract, this social experiment called democracy has failed Black people. And that's not to say that we haven't got anything from democracy, that's to say that everything we've gotten from democracy, we have fought for. And so if now you're sitting here at home and we're frustrated and we're mad and we're watching what is happening to Black bodies, we have to understand that this social contract has failed us. When Black folks make up 13% of the population, but represent 27% of COVID-19 deaths. The New York Times reported today that half of adults are unemployed, half of Black adults are unemployed because of COVID-19 and racism. But we're in a system that non-white schools get $23 billion less funding. But we're in a system where Black and brown schools are policed and a part of the prison industrial complex. And so the idea of abolitionist teaching sits on the work of folks like Erica Minor, folks like David Stovall, folks like Farima, folks like Charlene Carruthers, folks like Ruth Wilson Gilmore, and the one and only Angela Davis, that have told us over and over and over again, you can't reform this monster. You can't try to think that you can put a Band-Aid on this monster. What we are trying to talk about is changing the conditions that create this monster, that uphold this monster, that lets this monster eat and breathe. The monster that lets somebody put their knee in a man's throat for over 8 hours, that's a monster. And if you think you can reform that, then you are not at the level right now of abolitionists. You are still in this place of maybe I'm not racist, maybe I am racist, and I'm moving through the cycles. But we are asking that you move much, much quicker. We need you to get there quicker because lives are on the line. So the idea today and moving forward, as you engage with abolitionist teaching, as you engage with the ideas of being radical and the ideas of what democracy really is, you have to know first and foremost that Black folks have given this country democracy. And we will continue to fight. We will continue to organize. But anybody at home that is Black or brown listening, understand that you have nothing to be ashamed of right now. We did not start this, and it's not our job to end it. White folks got to end this. And they got to want to be a part of this. And not performative, not from the sidelines. You got to be deeply want to be a part of what it means to be an abolitionist. That means you are willing to destroy what you have benefited from. And that is what we're asking you to do as abolitionists, to destroy a system that benefits you every single day. And I understand that's a hard thing to think about. It's a hard thing to do. But if you want justice and you say you want justice and this is past just a performance, then that is what we're asking as abolitionists. So as teachers, as organizers, as community folk, this is about dismantling a system that is oppressive. This is about dismantling a system that is hell-bent on killing Black and brown folks. And this is about dismantling a system that only knows the word justice when it's convenient and still doesn't understand what that means. And so we're not here to have a conversation about reimagining, about reshaping, about reforming. We're here to have a conversation about what it means to be an abolitionist.
Okay, so think about Bettina Love's charge and take a couple of minutes, 2 minutes, just to do your own written reflection. You're not going to share it. It's just for you. So maybe it's just thinking, or maybe it's jotting something down or writing, but take 2 minutes to think about what the charge is and what she was talking about.
Okay, finish up your last thought. You have about 1 more minute. All right. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on? Thank you. Maybe we're still writing. Great. Okay. So you can always come back to it if you need more time. We are going to jump into our reading now. And Deborah, would you mind putting in the chat, or Chalida, can you put a link to the chapter again, please, so that folks can access it here? It's also in the speaker notes for your slide presentation. And this is what we're going to do is we are going to try to successfully put you into breakout groups, about 3 or 4 folks in a room. And you are going to have about 10 minutes to read the selection that will correspond with the number of your breakout group. So you can see in the slide presentation that it says breakout room 1. I'll show you. Breakout room 1, this is the selection of the text that you will read, the first subtitle. And in the speaker notes, it actually shows you the pages, which is pages 88 to 90 for the first group, and so on. So you'll go ahead and read, and you can go ahead and take a break if you need to use the bathroom, get something to drink, and then we will let you know in your breakout room when it's time for you to discuss with your group. And every group has the same questions. This is a discussion method that I got from Steve Zweiback, Facilitation in Chaotic Times. And the easy way to remember it is the what, the gut, the so what, and the now what. And so the what is sort of the summary, the synthesis of what you read. The gut is the reflective questions. What stood out for you? How did it make you feel? So what are the implications of this text for teaching and learning, especially in this context? And the now what is action steps. What are you doing next to carry this work forward? So we would like for one of you in your group to take notes on the slide in Google Slides for all of us to share. We aren't going to share out with the entire group, but we're hoping everyone else can reread and read over what you write. You will have an opportunity to share with a partner from a different section after this to be able to do a little more sense making, but most of this discussion will happen just in your small group. And of course, we encourage you to read the rest of the chapter in the whole book if you can. Any questions about what's going to happen for the next about 25 minutes? So we'll go to breakout groups, you'll read the text assigned to you and take a break, and then we'll remind you, we'll send a message to your group to let you know it's time for you to discuss and take notes on the slide.
I just want to reiterate that the first 10 minutes is set aside for reading, and that you will be in a breakout room, and sometimes that can be tempting to talk, but we want to make sure everyone has that time to have the quiet time they need to dive into a meaty text. And so the first 10 minutes for reading, and then we'll call you and tell you it's time to talk and to go to those slides. I think I put the link to the chapter in, and the sharing settings should be fixed right now.
Let us
Maureen,
know if, sorry?
Maureen, can you go over how they know what section to read? Again, there's a question in the chat about that.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I can't see the chat right now. So basically, you are going to go to a breakout room with a number, yes? And so that number is going to be connected to a subtitle in the chapter. And so I'll show you, for example, I showed you number 1, slide 1, but here, if I go to breakout room 2, then I go to read the second section called Tweaking the System is Not Enough. If I go to breakout room 8, I'm going to read page 106 to 108, the work. And if the page numbers aren't listed up above, you can also see them in the speaker notes down below. Did that answer your question? I can't see the chat, but.
Okay, so Miss Romero, who I'm seeing in the chat, once you are in the breakout room, so if you're assigned breakout room number 8, you have to go to the slide presentation, and then you're gonna look, here's the example for breakout room number 8, then you're gonna find the work, page 106 to 108. How do we know? You need the slides, right? So there's a Yell key link, and you need to open up the presentation on your own to access those slides. Okay.
So yes, you will need to have slides open for the breakout
So you
group.
know.
Yes. Did that answer your question? Great. Okay, so we're going to put you in your groups. You're going to read, so you can turn your mic off and just read and take a break, and then we'll remind you when it's time to talk. We'll pull you back in about 20, 25 minutes.
So you need to stop sharing so I can do the breakout room.
Yes, thank you. Fingers crossed it will work this time for all of you.
I'm Maureen, I'm taking you out of the room.
Okay. It invited me to breakout room 8.
Just don't accept it.
I didn't.
Good. So everyone should, it looks like everyone has a room with at least, there's people, there's no one's alone.
Okay.
So I think we're in good shape.
Good.
The
two of you who are still here, are you not able to get into a breakout room? Leah and Wu J7 at SFUSD, are you there? Maybe they're not here. I guess they'll let us know if they need us. 212.
Yeah, I just said 10 minutes, so it's mainly for me. It's so we can
No,
go
that's
back.
good. How are we doing on time? I think we're doing okay, actually.
I haven't been keeping track of that at all.
It's a lot to manage this break. I don't know how anyone could do this by themselves.
It was really hard with writing camp because there was always this delay, and then, oh, someone needs help. Roberta in breakout room 10. Do you want to go to breakout room 10 or you want me to?
Yeah. I don't know how to do that. Why don't you go?
Okay.
I'm recording. There we go. I got it.
Okay. So they're coming back. I have 20 seconds to come back, and a lot of people are taking their whole time.
That's fine. Do you see that it's recording again?
It is recording.
That Zoom. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone's coming back. Okay. All right, welcome back, everyone. I know there's never enough time, so I'm sure some of you were still mid-conversation. Just transparent facilitation in order to make the room so that there were enough people in each room so no one was left alone. We didn't make as many groups, and we omitted one of the sections, which was Black Joy. And the whole chapter, chapter 5, I think is really important, but especially the section on Black Joy. And so we put it here, and we thought we put a paragraph from that section here, and we're hoping that we could get some volunteers read this paragraph sentence by sentence. So we're hoping that people will step up and read a sentence, and then someone else will step up and read the next sentence. And when you feel so moved, go ahead and unmute yourself and read, please.
Black joy. There is joy, and then there is black joy.
Both are necessary for justice. However, black joy is often misunderstood.
Black joy is to embrace your full humanity as the world tells you that you are disposable and that you do not matter.
Black joy is a celebration of taking back your identity as a person of color and signaling to the world that our darkness is what makes you strong and beautiful.
Black joy is understanding and recognizing that as a dark person, oh wait, did I skip one? I'm sorry, I'll go back. Black joy is finding your home place and creating home place for others.
Black joy is understanding and recognizing that as a dark person, you come with grit and zest because you come from survivors who push their bodies and minds to the limits for you to one day thrive.
Thank you to all of the readers. We are going to have you think about that quote and what you read in your smaller group. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna put you in a new breakout room. And this time, it's either you're going to be with different people. So it's to share something that you're thinking about, something that's resonating with you based on what you read, or maybe the quote about Black joy. And sometimes just saying it out loud helps solidify our thinking or plants the seed for something new. So we're going to put you in new rooms again, and hopefully, let's see. You'll be with a new partner. If you're not with new partners, then go deeper with the same group. So let me see. Oh, these are too big. So I'm gonna make, okay. All right, and so you're gonna talk to a new partner, introduce yourself, and maybe share what's coming up for you right now. And you'll only be in that room for about 5 minutes.
Are they assigned to groups?
They are all in groups. Wait, where are you?
Oh, group 9, I think. Oh my goodness.
Okay, everyone should be in a group. We have Leah, who's still here, who I just don't think is here.
Okay.
Christian Flores, I don't think has been in our group. So he's trying to come in right now.
Oh, geez. I'll message.
Okay. And then we're doing a whole group share out after this, before the Jamboard or after the Jamboard?
After the Jamboard.
Okay. So I'm going to keep them in the breakout rooms until 2:37.
2:37? Okay.
That's 5 minutes. I mean, I'm going to come back. I'll take them out at 2:36 and then they'll have till 2:37.
We have 25 more minutes of content, so I think it should work. I mean, if we cut short appreciations, it's fine. You know.
Okay.
Doing great.
We're doing great.
Poco. Okay, so I'm sharing now. I need to share my screen.
You're sharing your screen.
So can you follow up with Chris? I sent a message, but there's no answer. So I don't know if you want to try to let them in and see. Or
yeah, hold on.
Here we go.
Okay, and what about that link in? I want to get that link.
Yeah,
ready.
can you do the link? I'm just trying to do it, but
yeah. And
if you can put it in the chat, that would be helpful.
Yes, I will put it in the chat, and it's restricted right now, so.
It's restricted?
I'm fixing it.
Oh, geez. Anyone with the link should be able to get in. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone in this group can edit. Okay. Okay, so we'll give them 2 more minutes.
Yes.
And then.
You want to tell them they have 2 more minutes?
Sure. Actually, yeah. We're not doing any more breakout rooms after this, right? Or are we? Okay.
Oh, well, we had talked about maybe doing groups for the Jamboard, but I don't think so. I think we should be in a whole group.
Okay. Sure.
Unless we feel like it would be, no, you had said 5 minutes to write on the Jamboard and 5 minutes to discuss in a group, right? That's
yeah.
What we had actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've been in so many groups, but we really want them to talk.
Yeah. All right. I'm closing rooms. They're coming back.
Okay. Great. Hello again. Do you feel like you're being yanked back and forth? I'm sorry about that. We want you to talk. We want you to maximize your time. That's the point.
Okay, I think we have, no, we don't. People are still coming back.
Almost there? All right. Keep on coming back.
Here, they're all coming back now. They are all coming back.
Now we're getting to the part we've all been waiting for.
All right, everyone's back, Maureen, if you want to talk about Jamboard.
All right, folks, so we are practitioners, right? We have to go back to our staffs tomorrow, and we're all wanting to figure out what we're doing on the 17th, and what are we doing with our kiddos. You know, they are the reason why we're teachers and why we show up every day. And so we really wanted to give you a workspace to be able to think about this applying Bettina Love's theory to practice and sort of thinking about what am I going to do next, or what could my school do next, or my class do next. And so you may or may not be familiar with Jamboard, but we have a link that Chalida is going to put in the chat for you to connect to and go ahead and start doing a brainstorm to write your ideas down. I'll show you what it looks like. There's a link on the slides as well.
And it's in the chat right now.
So thank you. I see Amber's already here. So taking some of Bettina Love's themes from chapter 5, but also just bigger ideas from what Dr. Simmons spoke about this morning, and also from the rest of her book, Bettina Love's book, I framed some questions. Don't feel like you have to answer the question, but they're just food for thought. So the first page has one about engagement. How will you create home spaces, humanizing learning spaces for your students during distance learning? There's another page about assessment, freedom, dreaming, and storytelling. Remember, Dr. Simmons talked about how stories, the power of stories, and how it helps all of us connect and heal and empower. So what are some of the ways you come to know and understand your students' stories? How will your students tell their stories? And that extends to family as well. And Black joy, art, and imagination. How will you support healing, celebration, and reparation in your digital classroom? Organizing and current events. How will you connect current movements to your teaching and provide opportunities for your students to critique and/or participate in that media? You know, we have a wealth of resources from the summer about action that has been going on all around the world. How will you connect your students to that action? Co-conspirators, how will you decenter whiteness amongst your staff and students? What participation structures can promote equity of voice in a distance learning platform? We really tried to model this today to be doing different ways for you to engage with each other, because we know just having one mic is not enough, and definitely centers dominant voices. Freedom dreaming, what other ideas do you have? Then there's just some blank pages to put up whatever you want. Chalida, did we decide, are we gonna color code if you want to color code?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Jamboard is not accepting all of the people right now, so I'm trying to make a copy, and so we can have 2 Jamboards going. So just give me a minute to do that. I think the coding, great. Or
if you want to do a particular color for primary, secondary teacher, admin, I'll give you a color, but don't feel tied to it if you don't want to do that. We could say primary is blue and secondary is orange and admin is green. But you could also just do any color. It doesn't matter. Just we thought if other folks wanted to kind of search and classify ideas later. Sorry about the limit of folks in here. I didn't know. I have 21 right now.
So I am going to rely on this collective wealth of knowledge. Can you make a copy of Jamboard and rename it, and we can put number 2, like a Jamboard 2? I'm trying to find the make a copy part, and I can't find it. So, Julia, I know you're here. Julia, if you know how to do that, please tell me.
I am here. Yeah, let me look. I know, yes, there's definitely a way to make a copy.
Oh, wait, I found it. Okay.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay, thank you.
You can also click the 3 dots.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I see. Make a copy. There we go.
I did it. I already made the copy.
Okay. Can you share it in the chat?
Yeah.
And we'll share both with all of you, so you'll get access to everyone's ideas. Are we going to put them in a group to talk in about 5 minutes, or no, Chalida?
No, hold on just 1 second.
Okay, sorry.
I can't do more than one thing at once. I'm just trying to. Okay, let me.
I see people are in there already.
All right, so I'm going to put another. If you couldn't get into the first one, now I'm going to put another link in the box, and so some people can go to that one. It's the exact same thing. It says number 2 in the title. Hopefully that will work.
And I see some folks have put some questions in the chat, which are great. We can add those also later to the Jamboard if you haven't already.
Or what you could do is start a new page on Jamboard by just keep clicking the arrow to continue, and that's a new page. You could add that question for us, for everyone, and then people could respond to that as well. Oh, the colors.
So
What did you say about
Oh,
the
sorry.
colors?
I'll write it in the chat. I'll write it.
Thank you.
Only if you wish. I said blue primary, orange secondary, and green admin, or I know we have a nurse here, I think, and some coaches.
And then if you haven't used Jamboard, you're gonna add a sticky, I think that's what, add a sticky note.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty, you just click on the sticky note on the side. Thank you. I didn't
it's
model
the
that.
1, 2, 3, the fourth one down that looks like a little note. You're just gonna click on that and then you can put a new note down.
Yeah. Great. You have about 5 more minutes, and if you haven't yet, if you want to name any tools that you're thinking you might want to use, digital tools that would help facilitate some of the things you're suggesting, that would be great too. All right, about 1 more minute. Obviously, you can keep coming back to this tool in the future. We will leave it open. All right, finish your last word. I'm so excited to go through and read all of these ideas. What we'd like to do to kind of close us out for the day, and it feels like we're just getting started. We're not really, you know, we're not done by any stretch, right? But I would like for us to kind of have a time. We haven't really been able to talk as a whole group. And so if you would be so kind to kind of think about ways that you can share sort of based on what you read and these in Bettina Love's book and what you discussed, and also what the brainstorm just occurred, what you read others have put about ideas. Thinking about that all together, sort of what are some of the takeaways for us today? What are the implications for abolitionist teaching in our new teaching context? How do we disrupt white supremacy culture and celebrate student learning? Bettina Love states in her chapter that, you know, it's not something that's created in isolation. It's not a book. It's not like, here are the answers. It's something that's co-constructed. So we wanted to have an opportunity for you to share. And we recognize that we can't hear everyone's voice. So if you could please, please put your name, just put Stack in the chat if you'd like to speak, and Chalida will monitor that. And if you've been talking a lot in your breakout groups and feel like you can step back to let others speak, we really appreciate that. What are you thinking now? We had you do a quick write after Bettina Love spoke. Now sort of after you've done some deeper reading and some talking and thinking about your own teaching, what are your next steps?
I can share just, I think sometimes the work, before you can move outward, you have to move inward. And I think for me, a lot of it has been doing my own work as an Asian American and the skin I'm in, and thinking about my actions in the classroom and looking at Asian American history and looking at different points of struggle and solidarity between Black and Asian communities. And so for me, it's been, and then talking about it with other Asian American folks, and that's been part of my work this summer, and it's something I'm going to continue to do as I move to work with students this year. So for me, it's starting with some internal work.
Any other seeds that you want to share?
Sandy would like to share.
I've just been thinking about how, you know, we need to bring this work into all aspects of our curriculum and not make it, you know, an isolated thing. So how can we bring the conversations, but also, I mean, not just conversations, but how do we bring this work into like literacy work? That's my focus, right? So how do we bring this into the reading work, the writing work, And starting with, you know, as librarians, you know that, you know, like what books we read, what text sets, what units we study in social studies, what do we study, and like how do these things all connect to each other, and always spitting it from a racial equity lens. And it doesn't have to be like heavy, but even like, you know, thinking about issues of fairness, like we can have those conversations in our kindergarten, you know, with young kids, and not have it be like really heavy, but just like getting those conversations going so that it's creating like this framework for kids as they go up through the years. That's what I'm thinking.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? We have about 1 more minute before we start closing out.
Wanted to invite Mr. Collins. He started to tell us in a breakout room a story, a personal story, and I just want to invite him to tell it now. We didn't get a chance to finish it. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'd love to hear it.
Which personal story?
You were talking about how your father wanted to send you to another school, and
yeah. And we're talking about Black joy, and you know, the Black joy kind of looks like in my household. I grew up in Richmond. I still live in Richmond, California, but I grew up in one of the rougher neighborhoods. So our parents, you know, sent us to private school, so that, you know, my dad said, "Hey, my first goal is to see all of you live past the age of 18." So part of the Black joy was, you know, celebrating your 18th birthday and being alive. And so I said, when it comes to Black joy, a lot of Black joy is surrounded by fear. You made it to this point, that's Black joy. But making it to a certain point, there's a lot of fear that came, and a lot of, you know, points of, you know, negativity or sadness that came to reach that particular point in life, which, you know, in a Black context equals Black joy. So Black joy also comes from a lot of hurt, pain, and tears to reach a certain point in life.
Thank you for sharing. Okay. I wish we could do like a 2-day seminar so we could go deeper and deeper. I feel like we're just scratching the surface in a lot of ways, but I know some of you have been doing this work for a long time, so I'm excited that we're here together. And we just wanted to close out by having some appreciations for each other, for your breakout group, or for specific folks who shared their stories. Thank you, Mr. Collins. And if you want to just write in the chat a little appreciation, and then if you also want to write what you're thinking of doing next, you know, like Chalida said, she's going to do some self-work. I'm hoping to do some reading PLC with my staff, something like that. What's one step you're thinking of taking next?
Maureen, do you want to put that slide back up?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I can do that. I can't see the chat then, but that's okay. Chalida, do you want to read out some of the things that are coming up in the chat, maybe?
Sure. There's a lot of thank yous. Teaching social studies without the textbook. Thank you for an interactive session. Engaging Zoom session. This has to be mandatory, focused, and dynamic. Thank you to Carissa and Sarah for the last breakout from Trish.
Nice. Great. Thank you for reading those out. Really appreciate all of you for being with us this afternoon after lunch. We know that it can be hard to stay on these Zoom calls all day. I'm wishing you the best beginning of school, and Chalida and I have our contact information at the end of slides, and we also have some links. So we actually took down our Black Lives Matter LibGuide and are trying to reformat it to include some of the resources that Abolitionist Teaching Network has, and T4SJ has actually put out a resource portal that has a lot of information for self-work and also organizing and affinity work. So we'll email that out to you if and when it's ready to publish.
And then Rethinking Schools has that great book, Teaching for Black Lives, as well. Yes. And just like this is, you know, we had an hour and 45 minutes. So this is just like one little point on a longer journey. Somewhere I heard like, this is not about arrival. It's the work has to keep going, and you have to keep doing it and keep learning all the time. So.
Yes. Thank you everyone for being vulnerable and sharing with your groups, and we hope to be in touch. Feel free to give us any feedback by email or through, I'm coming. My son has a doctor's appointment now. I gotta go. All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye, y'all. Thank you. Best of luck this week.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.